How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. And I know. I did not record on Tuesday for a valid reason. I could not bring myself to talk about the Minnesota Vikings and the complete disaster of a game that took place for them, losing 12-10 versus the Chicago Bears. Plus, added on to that, I have not been getting good sleep. I've been really tired. I just decided to push out a video today. I still am really tired, so if I am unenergetic, I do apologize. But I want to touch on that Vikings game. That Vikings game was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life from any team. Worst game. I mean, I've never seen a team win off of just field goals when the other team scores a touchdown. I've never seen that. And you got to think, the Vikings are 0-2 in their last two games. And even though they're 0-2, they've only given up one touchdown. So you can't even put that discredit on the defense. You got to put it on the offense. You got to look at Joshua Dobbs and you got to say, hey, let's say you're KOC, you got to say, hey, I said that if anyone turns the ball over multiple times that I'm going to have to bench him. And I don't know, and I said this on my radio show, I don't know if just because Josh Dobbs never got that chance to play because he was Tom Brady's backup. I don't know if it's because he never got the chance to play, so he was always behind him. Even if Tom Brady threw 12 interceptions, even if he did that in the game, they would still not put KOC in. So I don't know if that's the reason why he doesn't want to play anyone else. That could be. It could be the genuine answer to that, but I just don't understand why he would continue on playing somebody if it doesn't work. And what I find interesting is Joshua Dobbs finally learned the playbook, and now he's not good. I mean, 5 interceptions in 2 games is absolutely wild, and it's unacceptable. He almost had 3 interceptions in the first half, and I was asking everybody in my 5th hour, if you were Kevin O'Connell, if you were the Vikings head coach, would you have started Jaron Hall or Nick Mullins after half? And they all said yes. Can a first half screw up your game? Definitely. Can you just go off of the first half? No, but almost throwing 3 interceptions in one half is wild. Now, if you would have just thrown one, put him back out there, yeah. If he would have just thrown one and almost threw another, yeah, put him out there. He's a little bit shaky. But throws 2 and almost throws 3 in the first half. He's lucky that the Bears just apparently can't catch, but they did catch 4 times. That game was absolutely just a disaster as a whole. I can't believe that I watched that game. I can't believe that I just sat and I watched the game where the Vikings fell to the Bears. I just think it's absolutely wild that the Vikings fell to the Bears on Monday. And you got to think, this is how the scoring went. Field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal, touchdown, field goal. How do we only score 1 touchdown? And of course, it's to TJ Hawkinson. The Bears outnumbered us on passing yards and rushing yards. We had the same amount of yards per play, but that does not matter. It's the Chicago Bears. It's the Chicago Bears. How are you going to let the Bears dominate you in a game? And it's not even they dominated. They did not dominate on offense. It was they dominated on defense. Every time the Vikings started to have a good drive at the bank, they would shut it down immediately, and the Bears would end up getting an interception. So if the Bears can just lock the Vikings down like that, I don't know what more the Vikings can really do, because you can't be getting locked down. That just can't happen. You just can't be getting locked down. You got to think the Bears get a field goal with 10 seconds left on the clock, and then we try to return the kick. It was an absolutely dumb move by Kene Nwangwu to try to return the kick. I don't get it. And if you look at it, it was just a completely defensive performance. Bears 18 first downs compared to the Vikings 15. Third down efficiency, Bears are 2 for 8. 8 for 18. Vikings are 2 for 9. Fourth down efficiency, Bears are 1 for 1. Vikings 0 for 2. Total plays 68 to 51. Sacks allowed, Bears allowed 3. Vikings allowed 2. They each had 3 punts. And the Vikings won the penalty game. Now, not to say there should have been a couple calls that were missed on the Bears, but there were also a couple missed calls on the Vikings. So you can't sit there and complain because they can't see them all. Fumbles lost, Bears lost 2 fumbles, Vikings lost none, and interceptions thrown, Bears 0, Vikings 4. The Bears dominated in time of possession, the turnover battle. The only thing they didn't dominate in was sacks. That's really it. They just did not dominate in the sack category and in the discipline category because the Vikings have been a very disciplined team. But what the Vikings have to do is what I will talk about later in my show, which is the fact that the Seahawks have to lose their game versus Dallas in order for the Vikings to have a comfortable playoff seat. If they don't do that, then it'll be really, really hard for them to still make it into the playoffs. Because when you look at the standings, you have Eagles, 49ers, Lions, and Falcons all are the first 4 seeds. And then you go down the list and you have Cowboys, then Seahawks, then Vikings. And then after them, it goes Rams and Packers and Saints. Rams, Packers, and Saints are the 3 other teams. And the Bears now aren't that far behind. Can the Bears still make the playoffs? Technically, yes. Will they make the playoffs? No. The Bears won't make the playoffs. It's just like the Cardinals, Commanders, Giants, Panthers definitely won't. The Panthers can technically still have a home game in the playoffs, which is wild. They would need the Buccaneers to win the next 2 divisional games of Falcons and Saints. Panthers need to win out. Falcons and Saints need to lose out. Buccaneers need to lose out besides those 2 games. So it's still possible, but it won't happen. And I'm just going to cut to the chase right here, right now. The Cowboys need to win tonight. If the Cowboys don't win, then the Seahawks are the 6th seed, Vikings are the 7th seed. Now, when you look at it, are the Vikings still in the playoffs? Yes. Are they going to go anywhere in the playoffs is the real question. It depends. Kirk might be able to come back, and if Kirk comes back, which he shouldn't rush his injury, they can go somewhere inside the playoffs, but I don't know 100% if that's what the Vikings need. I don't know if the Vikings should tank, and Justin Jefferson should have came back off of IR way sooner, but at the same time, you don't want to rush an injury, even though it was a hamstring injury, and it does aggravate me. A hamstring injury takes 4 to 5 weeks to heal, and he was sitting out for 8 weeks. He's finally going to come back after the bye, so it's good having a late bye. That way we can be strong going into the playoffs if we do make it, which we should, but we need this next win. I mean, if you look at it, let me pull this up. If you look up the Vikings playoff percentage, right now they are at a 51%. So that's not that great of chances. If the Seahawks win tonight, it drops to 43. If the Cowboys win tonight, it goes down to 50, which is a shocker that it will still drop either way. I don't know what the math behind that is, but let's say the Vikings lose against the Raiders, which if they do, their season is practically over because they will be sitting at 35%. So how I see this, the rest of this year going, it's going to be a win at the Raiders. It's going to be a win at the Bengals. It's going to be a win in the bank from the Lions, win against the Packers, and then lost to Lions. Let's say we lose to the Lions both times. Both times we lose to the Lions. We are sitting at a comfortable 96%. So let's not, the season's not over. Let's not stress. But at the same time, we can lose out to the Lions. But if we lose to the Packers, our playoff chances drop tremendously. I mean, let's say we drop to the Raiders. It's going to be a 56% chance. This is if we lose both games to the Lions too. Drop to the Bengals, it's going to be a 57% chance. But if we drop to the Lions, Packers, and then Lions again, it'll be down at a 19%, and that's probably because the Packers will win not win the division, but they will win in like the division over us. But you got to think, if we win versus the Raiders, Bengals, and Packers is at home, if we win those 3 games, we have a nice chance to go inside the playoffs, play really, really well. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And we need to. We can still win the division. That's not a problem. It's just whether or not we have the guys that want to put in the fight to win the division. That's the main thing. And the Lions just need to lose another game. And it seems to be whatever week I root for the Lions to lose, the Vikings always lose. I mean, it's upsetting. It's very upsetting because if you look at the Rams' schedule for the rest of the season, they can still make it. And I don't want the Rams to make it, obviously. I do, but I don't. My friend Jackson, he's a Rams fan. So it wouldn't hurt if they ended up going to the playoffs, but you got to think they have Browns, which they can still make it, but could they? Yeah, they can, but will they? Probably not. Browns are going to take a loss. Ravens, they're going to take a loss. Commanders, W. Saints, win. Giants, win. And 49ers, loss. So I'm gonna look at the chances that they make the playoffs. So right now the Rams are sitting at a 40% chance, and it is not going to let me look at the rest of their season. I'm going to try to take a quick glance, and it still will not let me. But if you got to think, if they're sitting at a 40% chance, they're not going to be sitting in high standings. They aren't. They aren't sitting in high standings to the point where they can easily make the playoffs because they have a hard game versus the Browns. You lose that game versus the Browns, you're practically, done for the season. But I'm glad to see that they won't give up and that they have grit in total. That's really nice to see on a team that was well known a couple years ago for their defensive playmakers. I just want the Vikings to actually do good. I want them to make the playoffs and succeed. I am leaning more towards basketball, so I might start making basketball videos. I've been watching some basketball podcasts. One day I'll drop my top 30 all-time, maybe top 50. But the Timberwolves themselves are a complete dominating force this season. Now, I touched on this on my radio show that the Timberwolves are first in the Western Conference. Celtics are first in the East. Timberwolves beat the Celtics, and if the Celtics didn't play this last game and they didn't win this last game versus the Bulls, they would have the same record. So I saw a post today that said, facts are facts. Timberwolves are the best team in the NBA. I mean, the Timberwolves are an absolutely great team, and nobody can take that away from them. I mean, they are top in the West. You got to think they're over the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Thunder, the Suns, and the Thunder have actually been showing up really, really well this season. And I'm genuinely shocked on how good they are playing at this high level of a team that they have. I mean, the Timberwolves, did the Timberwolves just beat them? But the Thunder have been playing absolutely amazing. I mean, you have Jalen Williams, you have Josh Giddey, which we all know what's happening with Josh Giddey right now. I mean, you can't be doing that New age Karl Malone. Karl Malone is on a lot of people's top 50 list. I don't know. Josh Giddey hasn't been around enough in the NBA to be in someone's list if he ends up getting kicked out for that. But they have a lot of people. They have Jalen Williams on their team, Aaron Wiggins. Like, they have a lot of people on their team that can step up and make plays. Now, the Timberwolves, you got to look at it, and I love Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is a great forward. Then you have Rudy Gobert, who was just an absolutely amazing pickup for the Timberwolves. He's a center. And you got to also think we have another center, which is Naz Reid. And Naz Reid is 24, already a great center in this league. And then Rudy Gobert, he's 31, so he's kind of old, but he's another great center in this league. And you see how both of these centers can put up pretty good points, which they've both put up at least 15 points. Naz Reid is a better assist man. And you look at the other side and you say, hey, Rudy Gobert is a great rebounder. Rudy Gobert played for 36 minutes, has 16 rebounds, 0 assists, 17 points. And Naz Reid has 25 minutes, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 15 points. So both of them playing absolutely amazing games. Anthony Edwards, 28 minutes, 7 rebounds, 2 assists for 13 points. And this team altogether has been well-rounded. Now, Karl Anthony Towns has not been stepping up like I thought he would, because Karl Anthony Towns is the poster boy for the Timberwolves. He was the first Timberwolves player that I actually, saw, I guess. It was the first person in a Timberwolves uniform that I actually saw. And he has not been playing to his best ability this season. This season is his second lowest field goal percentage season. His 3-point percentage has been pretty good. I think it's his 4th highest of all time. He's just he's been good, but not as good as I thought he would be in total. I mean, he's had the second most minutes on the floor. His second season, he played 37 minutes on the floor and 82 out of 82 games. But I don't know. He's not impressing me. And yeah, I mean, he's had seasons where he's gotten around 20 points or he's gotten under 20 points. But at the same time, he's Karl Anthony Towns. Now, is he an all-around, well-rounded guy? Yeah, and he's a great player, a great locker room guy, but I just expected him to do better. And if you look at their games, they, I believe, have a game tonight at 7 o'clock. So make sure you go. Yes, it is at 7. Make sure you go and you tune into that game. It's versus the Jazz. But I don't know, man. I am very tired. I'm probably going to go home and take a nap. I just wanted to let out this video today. Like I said, sorry if I sound monotone. I probably really do. I do not have that much energy today, everybody. So I do sincerely apologize for that. Hopefully I can go home, get some sleep. I'm going to be commentating on a basketball game on thedogradio.com on Saturday at 7 p.m. So, I mean, look at Saturday's games at 7 p.m. Which would you rather listen to, me on the radio or watch Pelicans, Bulls, Pacers, Heat, Hawks, Bucks? Which would you rather have? I know that you're obviously going to pick me. It's been a real fun time talking to everybody here today. I just got to tune out. I got to go to bed. And I will see you all most likely Monday. And yeah, I'm out.